Hey everyone, welcome to another great episode of the Smooth Business Growth Podcast, where we share 15 minutes of fast-paced pure marketing strategies proven to move the needle in your business. So I'm your host and Captain Lindsay Phillips, and I am the founder of Smooth Sailing Business Growth, where we help busy entrepreneurs attract and acquire customers faster through powerful and consistent, of course, content marketing. In fact, if you go to smoothbusinessgrowth.com, you can download your social media roadmap to help you do just that. So let's get to the good stuff here, folks, today, because we are chatting with speaker and coach Cardiff D. He's the author of Tide Turners, the practical guide to help you feel in control, enjoy, experience more joy, and sustain achievement in life. So he helps busy business owners master productivity so they can elevate their business. And today he's going to share how we can become tide turners ourselves. So you'll find out what that means. So let's set sail. So welcome aboard, Cardiff. I'm so glad to have you on.
It is great to be upon this ship we are going towards and the island we're going towards. Great to be here with you, Lindsay.
Awesome. And of course, I do love your book, Tide Turners, and the boating and the water thing. So we're totally in sync.
Yes.
That is awesome. And so
Completely.
I was checking out, of course, this book of yours, and I see how it shows people how to plan a course to their own victory island of achievements. That sounds like a great place to go to.
Yeah.
What does that mean, a victory island of achievements?
Yeah. Well, see, Lindsay, we all have our own definition of what success means for us, right? And if we don't physically take time to articulate down what that is and where we're going to miss, and we're not going to end up at that island. You see, islands could be many for us, or it could be one for us, but it's really being purposeful. It's understanding what is it that I am truly here to contribute in this state of being in this place that I am placed called Earth today, right now. What is it, and where am I headed?
So being really clear on what it is that the heck you want.
Yeah, exactly. I can tell you in my own personal, I was adrift. And here's the thing though, I was adrift and I was still achieving. Isn't that crazy? You can still be adrift and achieve, but if you truly want to level up and amp up your level of achievement, how much more do you think you can contribute and impact people in this world, business owners, entrepreneurs, if you are truly dialed in to where you're going, who you are, what you're about, and setting the goals to achieve them in your life?
So do you mean we have to break it down and be very specific on what our goals are? Because some of us are I want a 6-figure business. I want to grow my business. Are they too general?
Yeah. I mean, when I had somebody actually tell me, I'm going to double my business. I'm like, great. How are you going to do that? And they kind of stopped in their tracks because they didn't have a plan.
Yeah.
And see, this is what's interesting. As I was doing the research for the book, I found out that 3 out of 100 adults physically take time to write down their goals. 3 out of 100. And that's today. And I'm going to raise my hand because, Lindsay, I was one of them because I had my goals in my head.
Yeah.
I knew that I wanted to do this. So I'm like, okay, well, the brain, there's so much happening today, right? We have so many distractions today that if you don't take time to physically write them down, and there's something magical that happens when you transfer what's in your brain and your mind to a piece of paper and physically look at it and say, okay, gosh, wow, how am I doing? Right? Instead of it's in your brain, just kind of floating around, and it's like a buoy, right? The buoy just kind of just floats and bobs up and down, right? But it's not going anywhere. And that's what I found myself, Lindsay. I had them in my head, but I wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah, they just float around aimlessly and then wishing and hoping.
Yeah.
So that obviously is a big mistake that we as entrepreneurs can make. What are some of the other mistakes that we we make in setting goals and achieving them?
Well, I think the very first classic mistake is we don't put a specific time frame on it. I want to, double my business. Okay, but by when?
Right.
December 31st, 2018, or by June 1st?
Right.
You see, when I was writing the manuscript, I came up to all of these hurdles. Matter of fact, I lost the manuscript, and I never had a date. I never articulated a date, Lindsay, until okay, I need to get this done. And so I wrote that date on a blackboard, on my whiteboard rather, and that date was always in front of me. And all of a sudden, I was able to create the manuscript by the date. Isn't that odd?
Yeah.
Isn't it odd how we once we put that date on our calendar, right? Now everything kind of just pushes to the side except for that one major task of getting it done. It's odd how that happens.
So does it make you feel more accountable?
It does. And with accountability, I always tell my clients this: when you've got this big goal, you need to share it with someone. Right. You need a confidant. You need to share with your mentor, your coach. You need to tell people about this goal. Because those people who love and care for you are going to be, hey, how you doing on that? What's going on? Well, I forgot. It's not really going. You see, you need those check-ins, the people who are going to power you on your journey.
Yeah.
And you need to support yourself around those people. So that's another thing. One more aspect of things we need to do is you need to create a development plan to achieve. Now that may just sound crazy, but you're telling me I've already set my goal, Cardiff. Now you're telling me I need to create a development plan so I can achieve it? Yes, I am. Because in that development plan, you're going to do four things. You're going to brainstorm, you're going to filter, you're going to design, you're going to be flexible. And once you do those four things, you've now created this plan to help you basically ignite the process of you achieving your goal. See, it's not about the goal, Lindsay. Mm-hmm. It's about who you become. And see, if you're not willing to do the work to become a better version of yourself to achieve your goal, you're not going to achieve it.
Right. And do you find then it's important to focus on the actions that you take along the way?
Yeah, it's extremely important. And, I had somebody, a client of mine who's, keeps looking at the top of the stairs, keeps looking at the top of the mountain. Oh, it's so hard. And I can't believe this. I'm like, well, wait, let's stop. Take that vocabulary out of your, the message that you broadcast. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't want you to look at the top of the mountain. All I want you to do is look at that. What is that first step you need to take? Right. And it's that action, Lindsay. It's like, what is that first action you need to do? Then take that action. Then do it. What's the next thing? Well, I need to do this. Then let's focus on that. Because if we keep looking at the goal, and one of the things I tell my clients is just, write your goal down and somewhat forget about it. Forget about it and not looking at it every day and say, oh, how big the mountain is. And it's going to be so hard. And I don't know who's going to help me. And I don't have this. Because all of that you've just brought upon yourself is going to basically have your subconscious mind be able to prove you right, and it's going to be hard, right? Except for, okay, let's focus on what is that first step I need to take with that goal? Okay, let's define it. Is there someone who can help me with that? Well, okay, let's reach out to that person. You see, one of the things I think are afraid to do, Lindsay, is we're afraid to reach out because that's a sense of weakness to us.
So I think it's empowering to ask for help. I
do too.
But many people don't.
Yes. And I would say 5 years ago, I was somebody to tell you on the opposite side because I was like, no, I got this. I'm good. Because I didn't want to be seen as weak. Mm-hmm. That wasn't in my repertoire of who I was. Right. But now I find it empowering to ask for help. Saying, hey, I'm designing this. Can you take a look at it for me? Instead of just looking at it and just thinking, oh, I got this. I'm good. And see, when you've got big goals, you need that support team. You need that team around you because it's not about you. It's about all these people pushing you forward up your mountain.
Now, why do we have such a hard time in breaking it down and like, why do we catastrophize or whatever that word is, the
Yeah.
goal? Like, why do we struggle so much in breaking it down and thinking about step one and why? It's such a strange
Well,
phenomenon.
yeah, you see, but our eyes is on the prize. Our
Ah,
eyes are at the top of the mountain. It's like,
and who
that's
wants to
me.
do
And,
the work?
who wants exactly, because it's work that follows, right? It's
Yeah.
WORK. And we don't want to take the time. One, we live in an age of instant, right?
Mhm.
You want something, you Google it, you Amazon now delivers like next day, right? You go to the store, and, right? Amazon, you can order online today. You can pick it up at your local store because everything is instant.
Yeah.
Lindsay, and we think it as we prepare and we look up the mountain. Oh, I should be there by tomorrow. I need to get. We feel because it's just in us now because of this instant world that we live in and this instant gratification that we live in, that we don't want to break down the steps and take the time to say, okay, I know where I'm going at the top of the mountain, but what's the first thing I need to do?
And I guess, yeah, it totally makes us impatient. But
Yeah.
so how do we kind of dial in our expectations?
Well, you need to obviously set realistic goals for yourself. And I speak one of them because I need to be patient, right? I've got some big goals, but I have to be patient and just stay true. And I think the way you do that is you need to feed your mind, you need to feed your soul, and you need to feed your body. And here's what I'm talking about. What are you inputting into your mind on a daily basis? What is it? Is it talk radio? Is it a good podcast? Is it the news? I don't care. But you know what you're putting into your mind right now. This is a great example of putting good things into your mind. This podcast that Lindsay has, right? What are you doing to nurture your soul? And that you can have a myriad of ideas for that. And then what are you doing for your body? From a fitness perspective, from a physical perspective, are you getting enough sleep? Really taking care of yourself. Because if you do those three things well, right, that's a part of this goal attainment, right? We're always focused on the top of the prize. Well, I'm doubling my business. I'm going to do this. Well, how are you doing internally, right? How are you doing internally? And are you focused on the right things? Are you focused on the right objectives? Is it truly to double your business is your key goal so you can make more money? Or is it to impact and inspire and to create legacy for what you do? You see, there's a different mindset that you have if you're chasing dollars, or you're going to chase the legacy and the impact that you have.
And I guess because that would change your approach. And I guess that's an interesting, more of a holistic approach to setting your goals and achieving them.
Yeah, it really is. You know, one of the things that I use to kind of motivate me is having this negative act. And here's what this means. So negative act is you've got this goal, and if you don't achieve it by a certain time, you're going to do something that it's not comfortable for you doing. And so really quick, Lindsay, is a couple of years ago, I wanted to hit this weight loss goal, right? I want to be this weight by this date. And I told myself, and actually I heard this from an entrepreneur, a very successful entrepreneur, and he said, basically write out a check to an organization that you don't agree with. And you'll address the check and you'll put a stamp on it, but only mail that check if you don't hit your goal. What do you think motivated me more? I now use this negative act to physically motivate me. And guess what? I beat the date. I met my goal, my weight loss goal, by simply choosing a negative act. It's crazy how the mind works, Lindsay.
That is,
it's crazy, right? You use something to fuel you that you really don't want to do. And you don't have to take this example of writing a check out to an organization. You can choose whatever it is for you, right? Whatever that's negative, a negative act for you that you would say, there's absolutely no way I would physically do that. I had a friend of mine. he lost this bet. He had to put on a cheerleading outfit. Right?
Way to go.
Right? And I'm like, okay, and that was his thing, but that he didn't meet his goal. And so you can make it fun, you can make it whatever it is, but that's one way to trick the mind, right? To now you're focused on like, okay, this is a negative thing I do not want in my life. I do not want to send this check to this organization, to whatever. I don't want to do this. So what do I need to do to prevent that from happening? And somehow the subconscious will work towards you in your favor. And it's one way to hit a goal.
I love that. I mean, I've heard of, you treat yourself to XYZ if you do this, but I've never been. But I think that negative thing that would like fuel your fire a little bit more.
Oh man, that fueled. I'm telling you, listener, entrepreneur, business owner, I will give you my email address, and I want to know what your negative act is, and I want to hear back from you. So I'm going to tell you, this will fuel it. This will be your burning desire to achieve it. I'm telling you, it was for me, and I hit that goal. Right. So I can tell you it works. I put it into use.
I bet it would.
Yep.
So before we go, can you share a couple of other tips on, how to attain our goal easier?
Yeah. One of the things I talked about is tracking. You see, sometimes we don't do that simple thing, tracking the progress. Where are you? And you can make it as elaborate as you want. You can make it pen and paper. Don't really care how you do it. But here's what I do care about. I care about that you understand the frequency that you're tracking and when and how. Right. And so for me, I've got a couple of goals and I track it twice a month. That's for me. Right. And I check in and I look like, oh gosh, you know what? I am not hitting this where I need to be. Now, what you can do is if you do a twice a month kind of check in, you can begin to tweak some things. And I don't say tweak a lot of things. I would just tweak one thing and commit that. I just put it on my, on a sticky note. And then when I journal every morning, I see that it's there. What adjustment am I going to make today? And it carries through, and it carries through every single day, and I'm making that adjustment. And so at the end of the month, I can see how I did. And so tracking is, I would say, the ultimate thing because it shows you what you respect. If you don't inspect, you don't respect. Ooh, now, so again, if you don't respect, you don't inspect, and vice versa. What you inspect, you respect. So if you respect your goals, then why aren't you inspecting them?
Yeah.
Take the time. It's not hard. It's easy, depending on if you're a macro person. I don't care. How you want to track your goals, but make sure you do track them.
That's so good. And I love that quote. I'm stealing that.
Okay.
I will say it's yours. It's all good.
It's all good. No, please. Because we do. Even think about the smallest things in your life that aren't related to business, right? You respect them enough to do them.
Yeah.
Right? And so think about now we're going to put on this big hat in like our business, and are we respecting it? And are we taking a look to see where we are? And I think a lot of people don't because they've got their goal. They're heading up the mountain. Like, where am I? I'm just going, right? Yeah. Am I making the adjustments? And you have to, yes, you've got to course correct. Like if you're off course in your boat,
yep,
you have to course correct. You have to know where you are. So eventually you end up at your island of achievement.
Ooh, we've come full circle. That was awesome. It's like it was meant to be.
It was.
That's awesome. So how can people find your book? How can people find you to help them achieve their goals faster?
Yeah, absolutely, Lindsay. Thanks for the opportunity. First off, you can head over to my website if you're interested in the book. You can take just a quick, I think I've got a couple chapters for free. That way you can try before you buy if you don't want to buy a book outright. But my book is available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. But you can head over to cardiffdhall.com and put some information in there, and you'll get a couple chapters of the book. And if you want to email me, I want to hear from you, especially if you take this negative act to kind of ignite the fire and within you to accomplish your goal by a certain date. Here's my email address. It's just cardiffdhall@gmail.com, cardiffdhall@gmail.com. Hit me up. Let me know what your goal is. Let me know what this negative thing that you're going to implement, or not implement, but basically put on the calendar to force you to achieve that goal by when you said. And I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader. So I want to hear from you. And if you would like to take a look on social media, you can take a look across Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Cardiff D Hall.
Perfect. I love that. How, yes, I hope you get a lot of emails. I think that's totally cool.
Flood me. Flood the emails.
Perfect. Well, this week's 50-minute cruise to move the needle in your business, of course, has come to an end. And I thank you so much, Cardiff, for joining us and bringing us closer to our goals.
Awesome. Thanks, Lindsay, for the opportunity. Great to be here.
Super, folks. So if you're looking to achieve faster growth through content marketing, social media, email marketing, look no further than smoothbusinessgrowth.com. Have a profitable and productive week, folks, and may the winds always be at your back.